Ahoy, boys and girls, and welcome back once again to I Like Watches. Oh, that was a bit half-hearted, wasn't it? Oh, I played football last night. I'm only in goal, but I played games back to back. I played almost 2 hours and I'm exhausted. So, yeah, I'm apologising now if this video doesn't have the usual energy and excitement. It should do, because I'm showing you in today's video a really cool new watch from San Martin. Quite a few of you have asked me to get this watch in for review, and yeah, this is their latest release basically. They're calling it a pilot's watch. It's not really a pilot's watch, although the dial is a sort of turbine dial. It's got large numbers on it and sort of pilot style hands, but as you can see from the K shape in the crown, yeah, it's not really a pilot's watch, but it is an interesting watch. I've said it before, I'll say it again, the dials that we're seeing on affordable watches, they're really starting to step it up. They seem to be a lot more technical, a lot more, well, complicated, and the sort of dials that you would have expected to see on much more expensive watches maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, the advancements, I'm trying to explain that the advancements that we're seeing when it comes to the dials that are being offered in watches like this, as affordable as this, $238, it's really exciting, isn't it? So, yeah, a really cool dial with some interesting light play. I was a little bit disappointed, I'll be honest, that they didn't send me the black dial with the sort of white numbers, white hands, BGW9 Lume, but actually I think this is probably the more interesting and unusual version to show you in this video. The Lume is surprisingly strong. I've already filmed the Lume degradation test for this watch. I was a little bit concerned because when you dilute the luminescent material by adding a sort of orange pigment to it, quite often that can have a pretty bad impact on the Lume strength, but it lasted pretty well. I'll show you the Lume degrading at the end of the video. So yeah, if you are someone that is interested in knowing a bit more about this really quite interesting watch from San Martin, stick around. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, like the movement, NH35, 21,600 beats per hour hacks hand winds. Do you really need me to tell you more about the NH35? I suspect not, although I'm sure a lot of you are saying, oh, thank goodness, it's not a GMT. It's not an NH34. There was a time that we used to complain about the NH35 all the time. Now it's the NH34, isn't it? So, yeah, really good to see them producing, once again, a standard three-handed watch. Although they are producing some of their GMTs that they've made recently with NH35. So, yeah, look out for those. The case on this one is quite, well, I wouldn't say unusual. It's not what I was expecting from a pilot watch, but it's beautifully done, as you would expect. A solid stainless steel bezel, some really nice brushing, and a polished facet running around the corner. Brushed side to that bezel, the case, a really interesting polished facet on this on this case as well. It's quite broad at the tip of the lug, but then it sort of tapers to a fine point and basically disappears at the widest points of the case. All the finishing seems really, really nice. The bracelet's quite simple. Female end links, solid, the specifications are what you would expect from San Martin. Solid end links, solid links, screw pins, polished sides to the bracelet, a fairly standard 3-link bracelet. So yeah, brushing on top. The clasp, it does have their on-the-fly adjustment system, which they're using a lot these days. Milled, beautifully engineered, and yeah, a decent amount of taper on this bracelet as well. So it's going to wear, very, very comfortably, actually. Doesn't look too thick either. The case, obviously, I'll put the dimensions and the weight and all that sort of stuff up on the screen. So not what I was expecting from a pilot's watch, but actually still quite simple. The case, the bracelet, not too much stuff going on there that's that unusual. Crown guards, obviously, which again I wasn't expecting for a pilot's watch, but yeah, as we've already said, it's not really a pilot's watch. All the interesting stuff, really, the really interesting stuff is happening on this dial, isn't it? Now, this particular dial is a sort of silvery white dial, and as I look at it, the left half looks to be quite different to the right half in terms of the shading. Yeah, there's some weird effect going on with this dial, and I don't know if it's because of those sort of blades. I suspect it is, actually, because I think the light is catching the sort of bottom edge of the blade on the left and the top edge on the right, if that makes sense. It's, yeah, really quite cool, actually. I like it more than I thought I would. The numbers and the logo all seem to be sort of included on the dial, essentially stamped into the dial. So raised elements with the Lume and the logo printed on that sort of raised section. You've then got a sort of separate chapter ring which sits on top of the dial. So you've got a sort of split level effect there, minute, track and hour markers. Printed on that sapphire crystal, flat sapphire crystal with AR coating, which is nice. Getting a little bit bored of double domed sapphire crystal, if I'm honest. Nice to see just a flat piece of sapphire crystal. So yeah, no distortion at all on this watch when you look at the dial at a tight angle. It's really quite an interesting watch, isn't it? Now, a couple of things to point out. The hands, I mean, they are sort of pilot hands. But on this particular one, they're black around the edge, aren't they? Which, yeah, I wasn't expecting. When you look at the rest of the watch, I think I was expecting those to be white perhaps, but I guess it works. The Lume, or there is no Lume on the second hand. They've coloured the second hand the same as the numbers in the 12 o'clock marker and the Lume on the hour and the minute hand, but yeah, no Lume on the second hand. I wasn't expecting that either. That's a shame. I think that's a missed opportunity. 100 meters of water resistance, screw down case back, very simple sort of Rolex style case back, very simple crown. Yeah, signed crown, screw down crown, nice action. There is a ghost position though, of course, because this is the NH35. They've not chosen the NH38. I wish they would start to do that actually. Yeah, so I'm changing the date in the background. It's happening under the dial, but of course, no date complication on the dial. So yeah, I do wish San Martin would use the NH38. A lot of other brands do on AliExpress. I don't know why they don't. Maybe they've just got an abundance of NH35s, or maybe they just feel it's not necessarily. The NH38 is a little bit more expensive, mind. So that might just push the prices up beyond where they want to be. But $238 for this watch. It will, I suspect, be cheaper in the upcoming sale at the end of May. Yeah, right at the end of May, first week of June, there is an AliExpress sale, but there should also be a discount code for this watch in my video description. Quite often when they launch watches like this, they'll offer them discounted as well. So yeah, if you're interested in this watch, I'll put an affiliate link in the video description. It'll take you to the official store on AliExpress. And hopefully there'll be a discount code in there as well. So if you don't want to wait till the sale starts, you might be able to pick this one up now at a discounted price. Yeah, what a cool offering, actually. I'm just so pleased that the dials are getting more and more interesting on affordable watches like this. It gives reviewers like me a little bit more to sort of get stuck into. And yeah, I probably like this one a little bit more than I thought I would. Let me know, guys, what you think.